Now to dig into all things CPAC is Democratic strategist David Katz and Republican strategist Adam Weiss. It's good to have you both here with me today.
Great to be with you.
All right, David, let's start with you. I want to begin with two questions for the both of you, but focusing really in on what President Trump said today at CPAC. Today we heard the president say that Republicans are now the party who speaks for the working class. So do you agree with that assessment? And if so, what do Democrats need to do if they want to win back those voters?
Well, that's a great question. I think you have to bear in mind, though, that Trump didn't get some overwhelming mandate. He won 49 to 48%. And to the extent that there was some loss of votes among the working class, I think that that's because Trump holds himself out as being, this great champion of the working class. But we've seen now, and Democrats and independents, even Republicans have seen that it's all talk, but it's no action. The action is chaos. The action is taking people out of the Forest Service. Who voted for that? Who voted to cut thousands and thousands of IRS employees when needed during the tax filing season? Who voted for all of this dislocation in federal agencies? There's a way to tailor the federal agencies. I'm actually for it. I'm for cutting some employment, finding where there's waste, fraud, and abuse. I was in the Reagan administration. We looked for it, we found it, but we did it in an orderly way. And that's the problem. And that's why his popularity is going down. He's got some polls which say it isn't, but most of the polls say that it is, because he's not addressing what he was voted in for. He was supposed to bring down prices. Prices are going through the roof. Tariffs are going to raise prices even more. And so I think that this actually is part of a declining influence as president. And I think the courts, you've seen that, have ruled almost unanimously now against him in over 70 lawsuits. Loser, loser, loser. That's what Trump has been.
Hey, Adam, another thing that we heard the president say today is that he believes Republicans are going to do well in the midterms. But if we look at historically speaking, incumbent parties really haven't performed well in recent years. So what do you think is going to be different this time around?
Yeah, I think the bubble that usually happens from the media and the Democratic establishment doesn't work as well as it used to, really, because, there's a new White House press corps system. They're allowing a lot more independent journalists, a lot more, podcasters, a lot more. So what used to just really hurt Republicans, the media. I'm not here on NewsNation because someone came up to me and said, Adam, I love watching that station. They're so fair down the middle. He grabbed me last week. But, a lot of these mainstream media, legacy media, were really biased towards Republicans, especially Trump, but nobody got as bad. But I think the fights that he's doing, the executive orders that he's doing, the fighting hard for the American people, and if Congress holds a steady hand and works with him, I think they'll be okay in the midterms this time around. But it's very close. I think the Republicans only have a few seat majority.
Well, Adam, we certainly like hearing those comments about our own network, so appreciate you sharing that with us. David, let's talk a little bit about some of these comments that Vice President J.D. Vance has been making, particularly when it's calling out Germany for undermining democratic values with its restrictions on free speech. We have a soundbite. Let's listen to that. We'll get your opinion on the other side.
Germany's entire defense is subsidized by the American taxpayer. There are thousands upon thousands of American troops in Germany today. Do you think that the American taxpayer is going to stand for that if you get thrown in jail in Germany for posting a mean tweet?
All right, we saw backlash from European leaders for comments the vice president made about that same topic of free speech. So is Vance going too far with this rhetoric there, David?
Well, poor Vance. I mean, he's getting kicked around. He's a vice president that Trump says, I guess, doesn't really want to have as president because Trump thinks he has a plan to get a constitutional amendment, which will be going nowhere. I think Vance couldn't be wronger, and I think Republicans will agree with me, especially Republicans that are from the Reagan Cold War tradition. We had to go to Europe to fight World War I. We lost so many of his mainly young men then, American young men. And then we went for World War II, which is a cataclysm. And we went there again because Europe was unstable, because Hitler was taking over. A lot of people think Putin is a modern day Hitler, the way he's trying to carve up Ukraine, kill so many people there. Putin started the war. There's no way in the world that Ukraine started the war. Talk about false news, fake news from Trump. So I think that Vance is getting America way on the wrong side of this conflict. And if we don't come to the aid of Ukraine and do it forcefully, a couple of things are going to happen. It may lose badly, which will encourage Putin to go into other countries, Latvia, Poland, you name it.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.